Much, Mr. Ranga, for thank you so much for the opportunity to come here and become the moderator to lead the discussion for today. We're going to talk about the communication skill and leadership also. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Danny Vibriana. You can call me Danik, Dennik. Yeah, so you should you should end it with the K, Danik. So that is the one of us communication skill also. So when you call me with Danny, so I will not answer you. So let's get started to our topic today. So our topic today is talk about the team Dispersion and performance, the role of team communication, and also transformational leadership. Can you see my presentation now?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
clear.
it's clear.
Okay, yes. Okay, so perhaps I would like to tell you about the story when I got this topic first before we begin our discussion today. So when I got this topic, so for the last time that we are going to talk about the organization, but I think that yeah, what happened with the organization? I think that the important thing when we talk about the communication in organization on pandemic and also before the pandemic and also after the pandemic also. So when I got this topic, so I don't know about the meaning of this actually. So I got confused. So do my friends and also my members also ask me, what does it talk about like this one? So perhaps I would like to make it clear that we just going to share about the communication skill and also leadership about your perspective, guys. Next, let's go the ball rolling for the what is the communication and the leadership. Do you want to have any opinion about this one? So what do you think about the communication and leadership? Is there someone who gave it the opinion? Please raise your hand. Okay, I think that all of you already experienced about the organization, except in the workplace or also in the campus. So I think that you already experienced of that. So this is the important thing when you have communicate each other. So your goals in organization will be achieved. And also the role of the leader can be the one who can drive your organization also. So before we're going to talk about that, I would like to ask you what is the communication itself and also what is the leadership itself? Okay, Reza, Miss Reza. Hello, Miss Reza. Can you hear my voice?
Hello.
Okay, so I would like to ask you, Miss Reza. So what do you think about the communication and also the leadership itself?
Okay. Communication is about how we can talk each others, and leadership. How can we manage our team to make team apa ya? Yeah, how can we manage our team successfully, maybe?
Okay, that is the nice answer. So perhaps that you any additional option for that? Additional opinion also about the communication and leadership? Hello?
Yeah, sorry, gimana?
Hello, Miss Reza.
Can you repeat?
Perhaps do you have an additional opinion about that, except that the communication is just talking and also the leadership is just to drive the team to achieve the goal? Or it's just enough for that?
Just enough.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Reza. That is a good answer. And also,
Yeah.
Miss Afi here is already raised her hand. Come on, Miss Afi.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Deli, for the opportunity. So here I want to share my opinion, regarding the meaning of communication and also the leadership. So in my perspective, communication is something like the ability to communicate with people, to connect with people. And yeah, I can say that communication is one of the most important things, and it is connecting to the leadership itself. Because, well, if we talk regarding the leadership, it means that it's just the ability or the competencies of people or of a person to lead the group of people. So it requires the good communication skill in order to influence those people to share our impacts and others. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Afi, for the opinion. And also now is Mr. Ahmad Fatullah Afi Daputra already raised his hand. Come on, Mr.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. Maybe it's only in my opinion. Um, Leadership is a skill that need to be required by the leader. Yes, because it's the essential one. Besides, it's about the way to achieve a goal. Leadership is gonna be like how um, the person creates the new goal that will impact to the other people, not only about himself but about the community that he lead. And then about the communication skills, it's gonna be exactly different from the first one, because communication is the way to give our ideas to the other ideas, how to connecting one dots to the other dots. I don't say that communication skills is not is dependent or by the words or the verbal way, but it will be also happen by the what the charisma, or maybe about the what sikap, yeah, about the skills of behavior. So rather than we say something, people will be know that we want to do, will maybe people that will lead are understood by the leader. Even the leader itself is quiet. So communication is not only about the verbal, but it will be evolve about the behavioral communication. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad, for the opinion. That's a good answer for that. Or I think that many person who already answered this discussion for today. So I would like to repeat my question. So we talk about the communication skill and also leadership. So I will before we go on to the deeply about the communication and also leadership. So I would like to ask you first, what do you think about the communication and also the leadership? So except that the three-person who already answered this opinion is Mr. Ahmad and also Miss Resha and also Miss Afi. So do you have any opinion about this case, communication and also leadership? Is there someone who wants to raise their hand? No? So I will count. I would like to count it 1 till 5. If no, we're gonna move to the other section. Oh, I see. Thank you so much for that. So I can choose one person who already talk about this. Thank you. So I would like to choose Mr. Pablo.
Hello.
Hear my voice? Okay. So
Yeah.
Mr. Pablo, what do you think about and also leaders?
Yeah. The communication is about make some conversation with others people or group, and it means we should have a interaction with other people, and um about the leadership. Leadership, I think leadership it's important to other, to every person, because leadership uh it's helpful for the for make a good conversation, like Miss Fatullah said before. um I think communication and leadership, it's related, and yeah, I think it's that that's it. My opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Pablo. And then I would like to ask you, Ila. Can you hear my voice, Miss Ila?
Yeah, Miss.
Okay, so I would like to ask you, what do you think about the communication and leadership? I think that all of the speaker who has given the opinion already opened widely about the communication and leadership. So how about you? Do you have the same opinion also, or do you have the other opinion?
I suppose that communication is one of a tool that when people talk, when people talking each other and they are get some information. And leadership it's not just about a person who dominate in their team, but they can share their power. So they leadership leader can lead their team to be a better person or growing together. Like that's all.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, I think that the host wants to give the opinion.
Yeah, can I? All right, thank you. Yeah, I agree with the previous speaker saying that leadership and communication are related to each other. Since leadership, in my opinion, is an ability that someone has to convince others, to lead others in their environment and in their community. And the way they lead and convince people, not because people are forced to do so, to do things that they are doing, but they can literally convince them, make them aware of the things or activities, purposes that they are conducting in certain places or a certain time. So yeah, that's the leadership that I know. And why is it related to communication? Since one of the skills that a leader should have is communication skill. That's why when you would like to convince people well in order to make them conduct several things that they have in certain conditions, you need to have good communication skills, and this is the thing that maybe a moderator will lead us to discuss. Thank you. That's just it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, guys, so I think that all of your answer is already what's that, dominant same. So the leadership and also the communication is related each other. So that's true because the leadership is our skill to lead someone, and also the communication is the tool to lead someone. So let's go to the next section. Okay, so let's reflect about our activity before the pandemic and also during the pandemic. Now, we're going to talk about work from office and also work from home, because we talk about the communication skill and also the leadership skill. So I want you to reflect. I would like to give you time for 1 minute to reflect about what is your activity and what is your case, talking about the communication and also the leadership when you lead something, or also what is the case when you are communicate with your leader and be misunderstanding on the other thing. So we are going to talk about the case work from office and also work from home. What is the difference between that? Oh. Okay, so 1 minute to think about it, to reflect about it. So what have I done when I work from office and also when I worked from home? Okay. 30 minutes, 30 seconds left. Five, four, three, two, one, go. Who wants to give the opinion first about the reflection of work from office and also work from home, talking about the communication and also the leadership? Okay, barely no. Mr. Ahmad, you change your name. You're the Berlin.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, yeah. Um, well, when I create the distinguishment between the managing people by facing them directly in the office or maybe in the exactly meeting with the people face to face is apparently different rather than I face to face with them, but with the other device such as using the other apps, Zoom meeting or maybe Google Meeting. Um, Even I face the same fatigue here. When we see them by face to face, I get tired because of the traffic from the transportation that I get, and I gain the fatigue from the Zoom meeting, the Zoom fatigue, because I have the distraction of the hardness to saying or communicating with the other people by using the other device. Because such as I said before about the communication, when we say face to face, it's gonna be easier to communicate with the other people because we can share our opinion not only by speaking but by our behavior. Our um, our attendants will be know about our idea without any more speaking. Maybe just only by smiling, they will know that I have the other intention. But that is quite hard when I do it by the Zoom meeting or the other devices. That is one obstacle when I'm managing people by the work from home. On the other hand, apparently when we face when we face it by work from home, we don't have any more expenditure about the traffic or maybe about the transportation because we don't need to go anywhere and or everywhere. But we need to establish a well environment in our home to create the wellness to productive in our house or in our room in our daily life. So our room will be the same place for doing rest and doing the what our encourage to create our better future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Brian. It's clear enough. So, Mr. Indri.
Hello, is my
Hello.
voice audible?
Yep.
Well, the only constant in life is change. Some things that is always happen every day is changing. So this is the reason that you have to be ready for that. If we talk about the communication, of course, communication face to face is the better options than using any devices. It's like a laptop or a kind of the application. It's like a Zoom, Google Meet, and others. And I suppose that most of the people feel uncomfortable with that situation. But time by time, when you try to find a way how to make you will be comfortable in that situation, and I suppose that we can do that. So kind of the thing that you have to do is, yeah, the first listen. Yeah, you have to feel that if this is like a rule from the government, you have to follow that. It's like what happened to me when I cannot teach people, yeah, directly in the class. So and lead me to become a teacher by Zoom and others. So I try to handle it, and I try to hear the government to stop any activities that related to teach in the class directly. Directly. So when you have listened, try to innovate. Yeah, how the way for you to make you comfort how to teach a people in the class by a Zoom. For example, when you need the whiteboard, for example, and you cannot write something on the laptop and others, so you try to play a notebook, buy a notebook, or you try to buy a kind of devices how to support you when you're teaching using maybe smart pen is like in the notebook. I forget how what is the name of that stuff. And because of that way, yeah, I'm trying to innovate and make me comfortable, especially when I teach my students with this stuff. So I can write something by a Zoom. And in the last is invest. Yeah, invest, it means you can buy, yeah, what I thought before, you can buy kind of devices, and I suppose that time by time you will be accountable, and the way of you to communicate with your students, and you get comfortable with the situation. So this is the reasons that from listen to innovate, yeah, listen the government, and the second, innovate, change the way of you how to teach, how to communicate, and the last is invest. Try to find what is the devices, how to make you comfortable when you use that communications. When I told before, I'm trying to buy a stuff, and that stuff make me more comfortable to teach in the front of the Zoom application or in front of the screen. So this is my way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we got a tips for Mr. Indri. Got a little bit for that. Okay, guys, do you have any experience for the different between work from office and also work from home? Do you have any opinion about that? Except Mr. Indri and also Mr. Berlin. So you can raise your hand to talk about that. Okay, come on, Miss Afi. Time is yours.
But Miss Denny, can I just explain regarding to the difference of work from office and work from home, but it's from the other side, not from like work.
Yeah, it's not only for work, but for also the organization. So
Okay, so in my perspective, I feel like work from office is more impactful. Like, if you communicate with people in your workplace, like it's better to influence the other people. So it's like, it's just after you communicate with the other people, and the impact is like, I can't say like what's that. Yeah, it's more impactful, and it can be immediately to take action. So after you share your ideas, your thoughts, and your group will immediately take action. It's just like you can supervise them. You can immediately see what they will do after you communicate with them. But on the other hand, if we talk about work from home, it just has lots of, for me, in my perspective, it has more, more benefit than, work from office. So the first one is like, perhaps if you try to communicate with the other people while you are WFH, WFH. So it's just like, your communication is less powerful, it's just powerless, and it's less impactful to the other people. But I suppose if that's the case, it also make you feel more comfortable to think, because like lots of people, they struggle to talk in front of lots of people, or face to face. But if you work from office or online, I mean work from home or online, it just like make you more comfortable to just process your ideas, your thoughts, and just try to communicate with other people. And perhaps the drawbacks are the signal may be bad. Like, not all of the people stay in the place where they can receive or they can get good signal. And I suppose that the last is the feeling of laziness. The people, if they work from home, they will feel lazier than if they work from office. For example, like if you just attend like seminar or perhaps discussion like this on the spot, you will use good dress, good clothes, like you will be well dressing. But if you try to do this activity by online, you will use your pajamas, your shorts, like that. It just like make you make you lazier, or perhaps you just lying on the bed, like that. So I suppose like each of them, they has like the drawbacks and also the benefits, like that. Thank you.
okay, thank you so much. I usually agree with that. So when we do the online or anything else, so we don't care about our appearance actually. So because we use the camera and also the camera has a filter of that. So I usually agree with that. So can I ask you something?
Yes.
Do you sleep now? Do you lay down now or you just sit down?
Yes. Yeah. I just sit down, but using my comfortable clothes.
Okay, thank you so much. But I think that there is a positive impact for that because we don't need to prepare words that we can comfort ourselves to use whatever we want. That is my opinion. So next, do you have any opinion about this, guys? So I think that Mr. Where is that? Can I say it? Okay, so I think that he lost your connection. Oh, already. Okay, Mr. Sunshine, time is yours.
Well, I'm sorry because the condition here is what has been said by Ms. Afi before. The power of connection is really necessary to have in times of pandemic. I suppose that that's also something crucial, not only in regard to how we can adjust the feasibility of the connection, because we're going to talk about infrastructure and the affordability or the purchasing power of those people, especially those living in underprivileged situations. We need to give more concerns about that. And that is why probably for some people living in such a developed situation, for example, like the rich one, they will be like less worried and anxious about how to survive despite working from office, for example, or working from home. There will be no significant or how to say protruding problems when it comes to work from office or work from home. But I guess I need to admit that working from home offer you such exceeding pleasure. Okay, other than being convenience, it can cut the amount of money that you need to spend for transportation, for example, or the amount of times that you need to prepare yourself because you need to put some makeup if you are a girl. Okay, and it will exhaust you mentally and physically. But when we just need to work from home, even though we might feel bored because probably the situation like just like this, and we're going to feel like so lonely because it's like we are being caged in one box of how to say solitude, solitude atmosphere, even though you visually like face to face one another. I want to say that getting bored is something inevitable to happen because as social creatures, we must admit that we need a physical, how to say, interactions. Okay, I mean, like, I know it's like it is just not enough to just call and text somebody. We need to like hug them, shake their hands, just like having a direct and face-to-face communication. It's like I can see you smile in front of my eyes, something like that. Okay, it's like something irreplaceable from working from office, even though, yeah, as I said to you before, probably it's going to be more harmful for you, especially in the middle of pandemic. But somehow, I must say that the situation gets better, right? And somehow I also want to say that I feel like it's too late for me because I'm just so, I just enjoy so much to work from remote areas because I can actually manage myself in several places. It's like Peggy Bunsin, right? Okay, I mean, like this is the moment that where we can actually work for various person in various places. This is really the moment because exactly when you live in or rely on working from office, you like being bounded to particular place and particular professions. But working from home unlock those possibilities. Okay, so I think that's me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sunshine, for the opinion about that. Yeah, I feel enjoy also now because I can manage myself, all of my schedule, so I can do the double job also. But oh my God, I think it's too late also. Okay, Miss Uchi, do you have any opinion?
Yeah, so actually I just want to add some opinion on top of the Mr. Sunshine opinion, like how do we need like physical I'm sorry, physical, what did he say before? Like physical interaction, because
Physical interaction.
I almost say that physical contact or something like that. So it's just like so actually like gesture, in my opinion, gesture is also part of the language and also part of the communications. So actually, even if we do some FaceTime and also that we do have like Zoom meeting like this, and then when we can see each other gesture, but it's not clearer than when we meet each other, and then that's and also that can add some power in our interaction, also in our communications. Maybe that's all, because I think for me personally, actually gesture is a very important aspect for me in communication and also in interaction. Yes, that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Uchi. And then I would like to move the other speaker. So, Miss Niza.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dini, for the opportunities. Maybe I will try to give additional statement about regarding work from home or work from office. In my opinion, whether it's from home or from office, they have their own merit and demerit, because such as from office, we can easily getting contact with our colleague, and we also can easily deliver our communication with our friend. And in my opinion, it can reduce the misconception or misunderstanding regarding communication in the organization. But if we do the communication from home, sometimes it's harder to deliver our communication to our friend, because there are some parts of communication that, in my opinion, it is easier to deliver it directly. But yeah, as the other said before, that work from home, it's more comfortable, it's more easier for everyone, and it's more practice, something like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Lisa. And the other speaker, so perhaps from, I can hear her voice. Miss Alifa Ilma, can you hear my voice? Hello, Miss Alifa Ilma. I hope that the connection is bad, not sleeping. Okay, next is Miss Shopirwa. Can you hear my voice? Miss Sophie?
Yes.
Okay, can you give the opinion about this is your reflection about work from office or work from home? You know, it's not only the workplace, but also the organization.
Sorry, can you repeat this? It's so
Okay.
crowded here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So this is the reflection of yourself to what you think about work when you are work from office and also work from home. It's not only on the workplace, but also the organization.
Okay, like the difference between two of them.
Yeah, you can say that, but perhaps that do you ever experience about it? So perhaps you can tell about your experience about that.
All right. Thank you, Miss. I think yeah, I have experienced both of them, work from home and from office. At my work, I have worked in my company now. I have worked 3 months offline, and then 15 months, sorry, yeah, 15 months online. So based on my perspective, I feel like it's a lot easier to work from home or online because probably because I spend a lot time online. Yeah, the advantage is not only from the so sorry, the preparation. Like I don't need to face the traffic jam. I just need to provide my Wi-Fi and then start it working. I don't need to meet people, just focus on my student directly. So I think it's a lot easier to work from home, and it's a lot more effective too. But I kind of miss offline because we cannot lie the direct interaction between the teacher and then the student. I work as a educator in one of institutions, so we cannot lie like the direct interaction from the people between online and offline. It has a huge difference, and I prefer offline because like we cannot just only having studying and teaching, but also we can having fun, we can running around the class, and then there's no internet in sorry, a connection trouble. uh yeah, I think that's the difference. Sorry if it is not really answer the question, but uh it's so crowded, so I cannot hear the previous speakers. I cannot really focus on the discussion. I'm really sorry, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Sophie. That's okay. I just want to, we just want to hear your reflection about work from office and work from home. It's not talk about the who is right and who is wrong like this one, but we discuss together here. So once more, that the dominant answer is to work from office is going to be offline like this one. So the perhaps do you have any answer, or do you have any opinion about the positive thing about work from home like this one, guys? So is there someone who wants to give like, oh, I really work from home and I don't want to work from office again? Okay, Mr. Berlin, come on.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I suppose that work from home is not quite bad rather than work from office, even though that we have any dispute about it. Um, well, when we do work from home, we can interact with many people just in your house without any more expenditure, and we don't need a huge amount of money for doing it. So by a little amount of effort, we can do this. So because of this consideration, work from home is more cheaper rather than the work from office, and it's uh, one of the best arguments to overweight this aspect rather than the other aspect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Berlin. Okay. Oh, Mr. Phil. Come on, Mr. Phil, time is yours.
All right, thank you for this opportunity. Okay, because I'm really interested in answering work from home. Yeah, midst of pandemic because we just need to prepare like the formal thing or the formal clothes. It's like we just need to think about it, just wash our hand. It means it looks charming or cheerful. That is fine. When we do like this, we joined the webinar or virtual meeting. Sometimes in several discussions, we don't need to open the camera. It's like this. That's fine. Even we don't, if it's formal or informal discussion, we don't know. Is suitable about the certificate or no, we don't know. It's different when we join in the it's like work from office or we join in the offline event, you have to prepare with a good clothes or formal clothes. It's like that. You have to prepare everything that can make us comfortable because we've been faced many people. It's like have this moral preference when we are lazy to take a bath. Maybe it's like that. As far as I can see, we work. I work from home. I can kill two birds with one stone. Thank you, Miss Denny.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ko. So perhaps that is the last opinion about this case. So let's go to the next. Okay, so about this quote, I'm a good at talking, but not for communication. Do you ever hear that quote, guys? Have you ever heard about this quote? Or do you ever experience about this quote? We're like, oh yeah, I'm good at talking, but for the communicating, oh my God, I can't. Have you ever?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So perhaps do you want perhaps I would like to choose 2 person or 1 person to talk about this quote. So when you have no experience about that, you just say no. But if you have some experience about that, so perhaps you can tell us about your experience about this one so we can learn about that. So Mr. Iqbal, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity that you gave to me and talking about the code that you said before. I'm good at talking, but not at communicate. And to be honest, it seems like me when I was still in senior high school. Many people say that I'm a good listener and sometimes like I can give my friends some advices about their problem, but when like I have to talk or I have to talk in front of the 1,000 or 100 people, it's really a trouble for me because as the code said, I can talk like just for one by one, but I'm not good at communicating like for talking in front of the 1,000 people. And yeah, at the time I was getting failure because I was really not a good communicator when I got interview, but because of that I try to be better than was. And yeah, that's my experience about that quote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, I think that there's 3 person here. Mr. Ku, do you want to say something or you just forget to lower your hand? Oh, okay, thank you so much. Okay, and then Mr. Berlin and Mr. Rafi. Mr. Berlin, time is yours.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. Sometimes when we have a relationship, we have secrecy. When we are so good in the talking skills and we are too honesty when we talk about anything, it's gonna be worse in our communication skills. Why? Because sometimes we will give the secrecy to the other not untrusted person. So because of this consideration, the good at talking and good in communication are different. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Berlin. So I would like to give you a chance, Miss Afi, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Miss Danik. So in my perspective, like this quote means like, yeah, everyone can talk. Everyone can talk. Like for example, like this. So a person can talk by themselves, even if they are in the empty room, only by themselves. Yeah, have you ever heard like the person who talk with themselves in front of the mirror? It's just like talking, right? Or perhaps when you are awake, so you try to, okay, wow, what a good day and blah 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 like that. You just talk to yourself. But communication is just something that require the talking to convince people, to communicate with people, or to connect with the people. So the difference is the communication means it's just the skill and you need some kind of ability or you have to learn about it. But talking just in human nature, like all human, not all human, but most of the human, they can talk even by themselves. So yeah, perhaps you ever heard like, can I say like an introvert, or yeah, like a person who feels so shy to talk in front of lots of people. But if they are by themselves or if they are gossiping with their friends, like talking about handsome guys and K-pop idols and stuff like that, they just yeah talking. They just try to talking to share their what's that opinion, but not to what's that influence. So it just not require the specific skill about what's that yeah specific skill to connect with the people. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Afi. Okay, so now let's hear about the confirmation of Mr. Sunshine because and the chat box is really crowded because of you. Thank you so much. Come on, Mr.
Okay, I dare anyone to talk about their notions right here. So this is quite different and challenging at the same time because when we want to define and give particular interpretations to a talk and communication, it won't be easy as what we assumed before. Okay, so probably when I talk to you, it's different from communicating my intention with you. From the perspective of Mr. Moonshine, that is so clever and genius in writing some poems, probably communication is going above and beyond what mouth can say. Communication is like delivering what's something that lay within your heart. Okay, just how intense it can be, just how deep the meaningful behind. I believe that communication is just not a mere talk, but somehow it's like particular skills of, for example, like lobbying, negotiating. You try to touch something within. Okay, so this is communicating, and I believe that this is so compelling because everyone is like can talk. I thought like not everyone. I believe that introvert talk more with their gaze, with their stare. For example, some people can balance between the talk of the mouth and the writings, like Mr. Moonshine. It's not so smart in writing posts, but also in delivering, reading it, and posting it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I want to say that it can be both sides. Some people might say that I'm good at talking, but also I'm good at communicating. But for some people, communication seems much easier than talking, especially for a genius introvert. So I think that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Moonshine already. Come on, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Miss Denny. Maybe I have to how to say it, like to option to how we difference about talking and communication. For me, talking is about sympathy. So sympathy means that you are just wants to trying to define something by yourself, and it's quiet, just one way. But communication is your empathy. So it means that you are trying to understand the story from other people, and you trying to how to say it, like to deliver the idea about what you just listen from the story from the other people. So it connect with the other thing. For example, like talking is just like to let the words flow, right? The English flow, just let the word flow, and then you will not get the conclusion, or for example you don't have the goals the way that you talk. For example, like when you hang out and then you just want to know someone's condition or what they do or what they achieve today or something like that. It's maybe for me it's the part of talk with each other. But communication is far away from that. So for communication, you need to listen more, and then before you speak, you have to think what you want to speak, or and communication is the part to influence something or influence someone or influence people or your audience. For example, like you do presentation, maybe it's only 1 week, but it's communication because you try to influence or you try to deliver your idea about some topics or something else. And it's also, maybe I saw Indre on the chat box before, like love, for example. Love is part of the communication too, because it's connect you with other people. It's not sympathy but empathy. You try to understand someone else, and you make or you create a relation there. So for me, communication is like creating a relationship between two or a lot of people. And yeah, so maybe that's from me.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Moonshine. So I think that, oh, there's one person who already raised her hand. Come on. Is that Mr. or Miss?
Ramdan.
Oh, come on, Mr. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks for having me. Can you hear me, Miss or Mrs. Danik?
Up to you. You can call me with Danik or Miss also, but don't call me with Sayang or the other thing that I don't like.
Okay, all right. I would like to move to the other example. Perhaps we only focus differing among the talking and communication, but we only focus on about the verbal communication. But the communication really large than a verbal. For example, like how you especially in your action regarding to your talking, it could be like a communication. And what kind of policy that you have enact in the organization or perhaps in the work sector, it could be a communication because it will be give the benefits or the drawback from the employee or the other things. And when we say that, so the implementation of the action, it could be entitled as the communication skill, because when we talk about the action, we can say that regarding to the book I read from the Quraish Shihab, yang kurang dari kita adalah akhlak. So that we need the example, especially from the action that the people more talking than implementation. So for this situation, perhaps when we look at several issues, especially in Indonesia, for example, like the king of lip service, they mentioned it could be this term, I'm good at talking, but not for communication, isn't it? And then when we come to the Donald Trump, perhaps when he tweets several tweets and encourage their companion to rush the White House, so it could be a talking. And also the communication for the implementation isn't there because Donald Trump only tweet at the moment. But for this occasion, I could regarding to our title now. So the communication skill doesn't mean the verbal that you announce in front of the people and how good at you are, like Sukarno perhaps in the past when delivering something. But communication means how you explain your ideas and also implement it in your daily activities, and the other will see you as the good person and giving the example for them. As the father, you can give the good communication, giving the good attitude for your children, how you well manage your works well, and also give the opportunity for your families. So it could be the communication. So communication doesn't mean about the verbal, but that's mean the entire thing that giving the example from the loving one in your family or the others. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mister. So I think, is there someone who wants to give the opinion? So when I already give you two speakers, so many person who already raise their hand. So now I just want one person who give the last opinion about this. So please, where is it? Who is your name? The name is so weird. JJTKFXT. So can you hear my voice? Hello? Can you hear my voice? Okay. So let's next to the next speaker is ill, only ill here. So can you hear my voice, Miss Ill? Am I true? That is Miss. Hello? Can you unmute your microphone and then give your opinion about this one? Nope. Okay, so no one's. Let's move to the others. Next slide. Okay, so when we are talking about the communication and also communication skill, so there are three styles of communication skill. This one is passive communication, assertive communication, and also aggressive communication. So I think that you already know about this one. Yeah, this is the common communication skill that we use on leadership. So what kind of leadership itself? So we use three kind of it, and each leader has their style, their own style. So let's move. So what is the passive, and also what is the assertive, and what is the aggressive? So this one. This is the characteristic of the passive communication and also assertive communication and also the aggressive communication. And also there is an explanation about your feeling when you engage with this communication and the other's feeling about the other person's feeling when you use this communication style like this one. So there is three kind of it. Can you see my presentation and you can read it also, isn't it? So perhaps, do you want to give the opinion about this data? So Amanda, what is the important, perhaps, what is the priority communication in leadership? So we can use three kind of style in our leadership skill, but perhaps you want to give the opinion about, no, I think that the assertive is the best one, passive the best one, or the three of us is the best one. So can you give the opinion about that? Okay, no one's. So perhaps Mr. Moonshine, do you have any opinion about this?
Wow. Yeah, for me actually, there's no the best in these three three types of communication, because when you already in place to lead something or lead a lot of people or lead groups, you will feel that you have to choose between these three ways to communicate. For example, like myself, when I was in campus, oh, I already can say was when I was in campus. So I prefer to use assertive because a lot of students, they are in how to say it, like still in study time. So assertive means that you have to understand your staff, your people, and make they can how to say it, like show their best to fulfill the agenda. Or but when you already maybe get into, for example, like the party, So you can choose these three types or communicated. For example, like for me, I was in West Java committee. So aggressive is the tool to make your how to say, like, yeah, your brands to do more and motivate them. So you have to show the power that you have when you were in West Java committee, for example, like that. So I think from these three types of communication, I think there's no the best, because you are the best, Miss Denika. No, but actually because of you have to choose what's better in your situation. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Munshan. So is that the example of talking?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I want you, Mr. Pablo, to give your opinion about this statement. So perhaps you can choose your communication style when you was in campus also, and after you were working. So what do you think about that?
Okay. Yeah. Um, have a three ways to communicate. Yeah. I think I'm always be a aggressive person to do some communication with peoples, because yeah, because about my environment company, it's really worse, because yeah, have a superior in my company, and the people always judge you when you have a little bit mistake, like yeah. Right now, I want to give you some example, guys, about my environment, working environment. My working environment is really toxic, and yeah, as you know, when you do some mistakes, like yeah, you're not clear your jobs. Hey, I mean, like, uh, when you not do your best in your job, it's like uh your boss give you some jobs to to you. It means like he give you some test at apa tugas gitu, tugas, and um you not finish your job, and your boss your boss it's mad to you, and yeah, I think and then your boss, so hey, I forgot what the vocabulary, sorry. I'm really nervous right now. Yeah, um and then your boss mad to you, use the bad word, like, yeah, like yelling to you. That's why you should be aggressive in my company. That's why I really choose aggressive to do some communication. Yeah, as you know, in Pari, I'm always do some aggressive communication with other people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Pablo. Thank you for answering my question and also give your opinion about that. That's okay. You're already great to explain about that. So I would like to choose Mr. Dania. Miss Dania, sorry. Miss Dania, can you hear my voice? Miss Dania? No? Miss Dania? Okay, so now let's move to the goal. Miss Ila. Hello?
Yeah, hello, Miss.
Okay, so perhaps you can give your opinion about the three kind of type of communication skill.
I think the best communication skill is assertive, because when because if I had experience when my tutor in my class give apa sih namanya, koreksi itu apa, Miss?
Feedback, perhaps?
Give feedback to me with honest and gimana sih? So it will be make me more if it will be make me have a inovasi to improve myself. But if my tutor give an aggressive do something aggressive do aggressive communication, I will feel like I'm in the pressure, so it will be make me stressful. Ya. Gak tahu lagi.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Yula, for give your opinion about that and give your feeling also to face the aggressive leader.
Yeah.
Okay, now is Mr. Berlin has already raised his hand. Come on.
Oh well, sorry because I just washed my hand in the uh, what toilet before you said about the question. Anyway, could you share the question that is discussed now?
Okay, so that has been discussed here. We are talking about three types of communication skill. The first one is passive communication, assertive communication, and also aggressive communication. So, what do you think about three kind of type of the communication skill is the best for you? Like this one.
Yes, thank you. Um, it's gonna be dependent on the situation of the relationship from the people interaction itself, because when the people is not quiet, have any relationship, and they have their own secrecy, so I suppose that the passive, yeah, so the passive communication is the best way, because they need to secure their secrecy between one person to the other person, and they need to share it by the code, by the passive communication. However, when we face the normal communication, such as what the cold calling, maybe, yeah, since such as cold calling, or maybe for in the introduction from one person to the other people, it's gonna be better if we use the assertive communication, because it's moderately accepted by the most of people all around the world, because it's appropriately emotional and honest, and it's well appearance. However, when we face a tight relationship with the other person, maybe with our lover, with our wife, maybe, or our husband, the aggressive one is the best way, because um, anyone need to be open with each other, because when one person secures something, it will create a new dispute among them, and it will create a hardness in the relationship. Yes, you know that anyone has their ego, and it's gonna be a new gossip among them, and it's gonna be bad for the relationship in the future. So aggressive communication is the best way when they have a well and tight relationship, such as husband and wife. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Berlin, for the answer. So I would like to hear from the women's side. So Miss Suchi, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so could you please give the opinion about three kind of type of communication skill?
Yes, so first of all, thank you for the opportunity. And then, so actually for this one, if we need to choose like ideal communication skills that a leader has a need to have, is that correct? Is that the question, right? I'm so sorry because I'm multitasking right now. I'm doing something because
Oh,
deadline.
I'm so
I'm just
sorry.
so I'm doing something with the deadline. So is that the questions? I what
Yeah.
is it? The best communication skill for leader?
Based on your
Yes. So
opinion.
okay. So in my opinion, actually, if we really need to choose between these three, between passive, assertive, and aggressive, actually, well, we all know that actually it's depend on the organization, depend on the leader, and also the depend on the person and situations. But actually, if we really need to choose between these three, maybe I need to choose like assertive and aggressive. In my experience, in my what is it like, but I was worked in the manufacturer. And then for that kind of community of or organizations, we really, well, at first I really I'm really shocked that why do people need to communicate like that. Like, we don't really need to yell, or we don't really need to use such a harsh word for a worker. But by the time that I worked there, like, for months and year, and then I just realized that, oh, this type of a communication, the aggressive type, is really need to be implemented in that kind of community, because like we have some target to do, we have some target to reach, and then we really fight with the time. And then sometimes people just like, oh my god, oh well, I work right now, and then I just got my salary every month, so whatever, I'm just doing it. Like, so, but sometimes that we need well, in manufacturer perspective, like, we need to balance with the quantity and quality. So aggressive types are very, 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 very how to say, very, very helpful in that case. So yeah, so for me, in my experience, like, aggressive type is the best communication skill for leaders. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Oh, what can I call you, Mr.? So, if you don't mind if I call you Mr. Chikoneng.
Yeah, is it okay, Miss Daning?
Okay, come on,
Or
thanks.
you can call me Chico, or don't call me Neng.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Perhaps I do agree what the previous speaker said before. The best leadership in communication means how the leader can put the three objects objectiveness here regarding to the condition and the situation at the moment. Let's take the small example in the education, perhaps when we are teaching. The assertive method can be used when we will enhance or motivate our students by giving the appreciation for the students, how they will motivate their skill to be better than before. But it's kind of weird when we utilize the method of assertive when we give it to the student who is coming late. Okay, good, coming late together. Tomorrow you should be late again, okay? And no one go to your class perhaps in the next day. And also for the aggressive and also passive, it could be in the sector of how the teacher will implement the enforcement of discipline. For example, like the first reminder, it could be a passive. Okay, don't be late tomorrow, because if you late, I will give you some punishment. And after that, if they do some cases, or perhaps in the few days, so we could be utilize the aggressive method, like the angry perhaps, or utilize several punishment that regarding to what kind of organization or institution related about the law enforcement at the moment. So it could be good at the time, and it could be perhaps wise when the leader utilized in the good position and also in the good condition. But um, let we come back to how the passive, it could be wrong when we put it how we will motivate the students, or perhaps we giving a supporting for them, like when you find in the speaking class, or perhaps in the other sector like writing class, and you will find there is one student have one wrong in this section, so you will be angry, like you are has a monster in front of you. So perhaps no one will come to your class for the next period. Okay, that's for me perhaps, and thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chico, for your opinion about this. Okay, let's move to the other section. Okay, so let's see the fact. Research by US firm Gartner show that 70% of business mistake are due to the poor communication. Job training and emphasis have to put on the clear instruction and conversation to prevent the misunderstanding within the workplace. So when we see the research, so the one that I highlight from this data is the leader get wrong to communicate to the staff, but who can be blamed for the misunderstanding and also the miscommunication itself, and why? Can you give me the opinion? Hello, Mr. Star Sign. Are you busy now? Or just listen? Hello? No answer. Okay. Go to the next speaker is Sophie. Hello, Miss Sophie. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So perhaps that you can give your opinion about this statement. Also, who can be on this research? So is that the mistake of the leader, or the team also contribute to make a mistake, or the others?
Can I just ask a question
Yeah.
according to this? Is it a good communicator always bring a good impact for the company or not? Because like the one of the movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, if anyone have ever watched that movie before, uh it's such a huge success company, a very very huge company and success. But as we can see from that movie, there are a lot of people not become a victim but dirugikan from that business. So but all of the people that work there are a very good communicator and a very good leader. So I want to ask all the participants here, it is always good. It is always something good when we become a good communicator, or it can be. I don't know why I'm so nervous tonight. Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, thank you so much. So from Miss Shopee lagi, I'm so sorry. Miss Sophie question. Perhaps someone who wants to answer her question. Is the good communicator can make the business success? Is that the question, Miss Sophie?
Yes, because all of the people that work in that company are a very good communicator and a very good leader, and they're all success. But the reality is all the people, all their clients got a bad impact from their business. Yes, harmed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, is there someone who wants to answer or give the opinion? No? Okay, Miss Afi, come on.
Okay, so in my perspective, to Miss Sophie, that question, I suppose that a good communicator is, yeah, the best. Like, you have to have this kind of communication skill in order to communicate with other people, in order to live our daily activity. So every time like something bad happened and people said it is because of the communication, I suppose that perhaps it happens because of the bad communication skills. But I strongly believe that good communication will produce good things, like that. Like it will produce good results. Because yeah, like if you have good communication skill, it means you can influence people. You can, yeah, I can say that you can direct the people, or you can just tell the people to do this or that, and also to give your power, to give your impact to the other people, like that. So I suppose that it's good if you have good communication, if you are good communicator. And for the for this, yeah, Miss Danik, the fact,
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose that who can be blamed, it's the people who have no good communication skills, like that. So either it's the government or the team or staff or others, as long as they don't have the sufficient communication skills, they are they are the one that we should blame. Okay, thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you so much. So next speaker is Mr. Moonshine.
Okay, so maybe from Miss Sophie question, I think Leonardo Caprio the way that he communicate in that movie actually bring good to his people, to his company, to his corporate. So it means as a leader or as a boss, maybe boss, uh, he can, maybe we can say that he's success enough to bring a good, maybe from economic perspective or social perspective, because they are well enough after join with the Leonardo ideas of the future, maybe something of that. But the problem in business actually, because I don't know how to say it, like a lot of worker, when they got the task, they will not suddenly, they just like wants to get done faster to understand the boss the boss how to say, the boss comment, the boss comment, right? And it's also happened a lot in Indonesia. For example, like, do you understand what I say? Yes, I understand. Okay, let me ask you. I don't get it. What I don't understand about that. So I think the problem, who can be blamed, it's not about who we can blame, but maybe we can blame about the structure of power relation, because we everywhere in the world we always teach that we have to just silence in front of the up higher people. So it also happened in Indonesia, right? When someone higher than us, we just have to just like say yes, or just smile, or just say okay, okay, we can do it, something like that. And it's also because maybe in business, because the corporate pays you, so it means that you have to understand everything in your corporate, or regarding to your field of your work, because you pay. It's different when you in campus or some organization that, what is in English, nirlaba organization, for example, like that. So it means that you have to trying to understand, for example, like I just said before, sympathy and empathy. When I was in campus, what I'm trying to do is to to let people know their ability. For example, like this, when I want to make a talk show in my campus during election, I have to understand that the people, that my staff is good enough with the editing video, with the Adobe Premiere, something like that. So if I don't, if my people, if my staff don't master it, so I will never come with the decision with to make the talk show, something like that, for example. But in business, I always get a different way to deliver the task, because they already pay you, they already hire you. It means that you have contract with your corporate, so it means you have to fulfill the task that given to you. Mm, they don't give a shit with whatever happened to you. But right now, there's a development in psychology that wants to try to development the human civilization. For example, like Nike, they gave a week holiday, right? If not, I'm not mistaken, they, in order to to restore the mental health, something like that. So I think if corporate wants to make something good in their environment, so they have to trying to get understand more about their worker. The good example, the best example of this is in Catalonia. The corporation, not corporation, the corporate, what is corporate, koperasi. So they have the system about koperasi in Catalonia. So the system, the environment in their business is really good. You have to understand more about their capability, ability, mental health. In this case, also important thing to understand. So I think that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Moonshine. And then Mr. Chico.
All right then. Yeah, regarding to your, what's the data conducted by US from Gathering, I would like to say that there are 30% that the healthy leader, they will be a lead to the business company. But there are 70% of the leader, they are unhealthy, or we can say that the crazy leader. So who can be blamed and why? Okay. And in this question, I would say that we should blame ourselves when we are worker. Why? Theoretically, you can say that a lot of things from the several speaker or previous speaker before. But as far as we are worker and we need their jobs, so the boss is always right. The second is the woman is always right. And when your job is woman, so your next day will not be over. In this situation, we should recognize how powerless we are as the worker, and we need their jobs. If you not will be blamed, so you should create your production or your organization, so you will not be blamed by the other, because we should be realistic. And there perhaps for the father, they have a family, the father should feed them, or perhaps for the mothers too. So in this situation, we should evaluate ourselves as the worker when we are blamed from the boss or from our organization. Why? Because we need that jobs. We need the salaries from that jobs, because we should be realistic in this occasion. So perhaps in this situation, hierarchy means you should uh, it's not generally, but there are many of them, or few of them is more healthy than the boss that I mentioned before. But from them we can learn, and we can evaluate ourselves to be better, and we can evaluate ourselves when we are being a boss, and not to be blame our employee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And then Mr. Berlin.
Is it my time?
Yeah, time is yours.
Oh yeah, sorry. Um, well, maybe I will not answer this question quite exactly from the US, because I never worked in US, and then I will not answer the question from the Miss Avi, because that is beyond my intellectual. I'm not working in a stock exchange anyway, and but I actually worked in the food industry as quality control in a manufacturer, in a company which is listed in a stock exchange Indonesia. Um, in the first day when I work, I have given their instruction book, and I read almost 500 pages of that book, and amazingly, all of them are instruction. And then I'm thinking now because of this question, um, maybe it's gonna be maybe one of my hypotheses why in the US are failed. I'm not failed, just do a mistake because of the communication. Because mostly the lower level of that company of those company are not know about the context of what they are doing, so they don't know why they do this and why they do that. So because of this consideration, they do the mistake. They do a huge mistake because of the instruction is not answering the exact context that they do. Maybe that is one of my hypotheses. And then probably uh, probably the one who must be blamed by this one is the creator of the instruction itself. Why they don't make the well about the context that they want to share to the lower level employer. So employer. So based on this story, yes, I know that blaming other people is not quite well, but sometimes I don't know. We as a humankind is humans, and we do mistakes. So blame and blamed by the others is quite normal. So um, someone who I blame will be the creator of the instruction. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Berlin, for the opinion. And now is Miss Suchi. So, oh my God, there's a woman here. So I hope also that we are not underestimated by the others. Come on, Miss Suchi.
Okay, so actually I have a lot of work to do right now, but this I just don't want to miss this discussion because of well, I just realized that you're such a good moderator, and also the theme of the discussion. I just couldn't miss it. And then for this, actually, I just want to share my experience. That before, like I mentioned before, that I worked at the manufacturer, which is a multinational company, and then am I the one who cannot see the slide, or?
Wait, I'm so sorry. I just moved the slide first.
Yes.
Okay.
So actually, in my opinion, who's to be blamed? I think it's like it's the person who cannot. In my opinion, it's just like a person who what is it? Who is not trying to understand, like both of the boss of both of the leader and also the worker. Like here, based on the research, like job training and emphasize have to put on a clear instruction and conversation to prevent the misunderstanding. So I think both side, like the one who need to be blamed or who can't be blamed is like the one who not trying to understand. Even is it that the leader who is not make sure that his or her instruction is clear, or whether a worker who is not making sure that she get the instruction or not. So actually, I meet this case every day, every minute maybe, because the change is I work at the research and development, which is like we need to make the fast decisions, and where is the when there are some change every time, like so we need to work very fast. And then in that department, we work with the Taiwanese, we work with Japanese, we work with Chinese and Indonesian. And also like in that company is like a Chinese speak Indonesian, but a broken Indonesian. So at first that I'm just as speechless, like how do they can work with by this with this in these situations. And then Taiwanese can't really speak Indonesian, so they tend to speak in English. And the Indonesian, most of the Indonesian cannot speak in English. So they just try to receive the instruction from Chinese with their broken Indonesian. So and then when they just receive the instruction, and then they just say okay, and then they do another thing. Just like it happens every day, it happens every time. So actually in my experience, like I cannot blame that or Chinese or Taiwanese, like they are trying to understand our language, and then they are trying to speak to our language. And then when they give instructions, I think they should make sure that the worker get that instruction, and also the worker need to make sure that is that the instruction. And then so that is why that's how we do the communication, like what we talked before. Communication is about the connections. It's not just about talking. It's like I said one, okay, but the other person understand that they said two. So it's not the communications. So that is why there are a lot of mischief, lots of misunderstanding, and then a lot of mistakes that we have found at the end when we actually can prevent that problem. So I think the question here is like, who is to be blamed? I think the one who is not trying to understand what is the instruction, and then what is the how to say instruction, and also the information that they get or that they give. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Suchi, for giving the opinion. Yeah. Okay, so for the next question, guys, actually it's not the question, but the challenge to you. So I want you to, let's play the role play. Let's play the role play now. Because the time is 1 minute over, guys. So perhaps it can be the last discussion of us. So this one, the challenge. Okay, imagine that you are a leader now. Yeah, imagine that you are a leader now. And then choose the number 1 till 5. and then give me your response as a leader when you choose one. So there is a case that I already prepared for you, and you should solve it as a leader like this one. So who want to get this challenge, who want to hit the challenge? So I hope that the person who hasn't speak up, I really hope so. Miss Il, can you hear my voice? No. Miss Dania cannot. Okay, one person from me and then, okay. Okay, Mr. Berlin here.
Can I challenge Mr. Chikoneng?
Oh, okay. You can give the chase. Okay, Mr. Shine. So it will be interesting. the another speaker give the challenge to the other speaker. So, Mr. Berlin, so your challenge is mine. Your challenge is mine. So I will like to give you the case. So please choose 1 till 5, Mr. Berlin.
Yes, I will choose
What?
3.
1?
3.
Oh, 3. Okay. So the 3 is you already enroll or you are the leader of non-profit organization, NGO, and then your team, especially your team is really busy and have a steady with another team. So falling in love with another team, that is a complex case that happen in every organization, and then they don't have a time, like their productivity decrease like this one. So you are a leader now, so how come you overcome the team? You should, what is that? Will you give the punishment, or will you give the motivation, or will you how can you approach them to be a productive again in a team, so your goal in organization will be achieved fastly?
Okay. Anyway, question is not quite clear. Can you share about the type of the NGO itself first? So in which
So
sector?
it's like relawan, what is that? Volunteer organization like this one, like Indo Relawan and the other thing.
Yes, I mean it's not a lifetime organization, right?
Yeah. Hello? Okay, I think he got the bad connection.
To productive in their works in the NGO itself. So because of that, and it's only a part of the whole of the system, I will give a huge concern about them. Maybe I will approach them by what chit and chat communication by personal in the first time, and then maybe I will attract them to the cafe, and I need to discuss with them, and I will share about them, and maybe I can fire them if they have the least priority about the NGO itself, because I believe that if they are not managed by myself, it will create a worse what situation among the morale among the employer. I mean, among the member, not employer, because NGO is not not employer and what leader, but about the members among them, and I am as the coordinator among them. So because of this condition, maybe I will fire them in the midst of the event before the main event is held. So because of this consideration, I will punish.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. I think that your audio.
Oh, I feel at my internet connection. Then yes, I will talk with them.
That's okay, Mister. But
But for our fire home, I will discuss with them about their priority. Because they are facing the least productivity in their work. Because of this consideration, I will give the option to them. Will you continue in this NGO or not? Such as that. Because there are only one case in the whole of the system in my NGO, not the whole of my NGO. Thank you.
okay, thank you so much, Mr. Parent. So you prefer to have a discussion with them to use the assertive communication than the aggressive communication itself. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Berlin. So now for the last, yeah. Do you have any additional opinion? Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Berlin. Thank you for broadcast. Okay, now is Mr. Moonshine. You said that you want to give the challenge to Mr. Chico. Come on, let's discuss about it.
No, I just want to have a peace condition in this discussion.
Oh, I see. So if you give the challenge to Mr. Chico, it will be crowded.
The politics situation will be hot and we are in danger situation. So yeah, maybe I just like okay.
Okay, thank you so much for that. But I think it will be I'm interested to talk about the communication in politic area. So I would like to know about that because I never know about that. So perhaps that you can give the discussion, Mr. Moonshine. That's okay to make it crowded. So I can know the point of view for that. No.
It's Mr. Indra is better than me if about political communication. So maybe you can ask Marshine. Also our
Okay, Mr. Marshine, do you want to give the challenge to Mr. Moonshine?
Sorry, I'm not strong for that.
Okay, guys, because the time is already over. It's already more than 10 o'clock. It's already over the 7 minutes. So I'm so sorry to take it over. So thank you so much for coming here. So I'm so sorry if I have a mistake to lead the discussion. So I'm Danny. So I give it back to the host. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Danik, for chairing our discussion tonight. Well, it's a very appealing discussion to talk about tonight, and that's very great. Before we end our discussion tonight, as always, I want to give some feedback regarding our English performance before. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you guys see this screen clearly?
Not yet.
Okay. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. There are several issues that I would like to highlight here. I believe everyone knows it, but again, I just wanna deliver some feedback that I wrote before. First of all, it's about a grammatical issue. Well, when we're talking about future situation like happen, like it will be happen. So it's supposed to be it will happen. Since happen is a verb, not an adjective. The meaning is already terjadi. Ya, maknanya sudah terjadi. Jadi tidak perlu pakai be lagi ya teman-teman. Langsung saja it will happen instead of it will be happen. It's the same as the following one. It will be no. You can just simply say they will know without be in the middle. Then we can running or having. It's supposed to be we can run or we can have. Since can must be followed by verb ing. Okay, sorry, verb one, not verb ing. So instead of saying we can running or having, we can simply say we can run or have. Then it's about subjective agreement. It's not everyone need, but everyone needs. Okay? Even though the meaning is a plural subject, but in terms of grammatical context, it's supposed to be needs. Okay, must be followed by verb ses. So not everyone need, but everyone needs. And furthermore, there are several lexical resources, okay, that we said earlier. Tugas, okay, tadi ada yang beberapa miss ya, makanya duty or task, mengoreksi, ya bukan mengkoreksi, sorry, mengoreksi, correct, amend, examine, or fix, ya, there's a lot of meanings. Merugikan atau dirugikan tuh harm, ya. Kalau dirugikan pakai D, harmed. Nah, apa ya tadi ada yang pakai filler bahasa Indonesia gitu. Nah, mungkin bisa kita variasikan dengan what is that, how to say that, you know it's not a question but it's a filler, okay? Well, dan seterusnya ya. Biar kita bahasa Inggrisnya bisa makin fluent. Kemudian ada tadi yang bilang organisasi nirlaba, okay? Tadi yang di chat box ya, Mr. Sanchen bilang non-profit organization. Kemudian saya ada beberapa isu ya tentang kosakata yang sering kita ucapkan. So I just wanna give some vocabularies that you can paraphrase. Okay, that's common vocabularies that you can paraphrase. Like so, you can paraphrase it to that's why, hence, or therefore. In conclusion, okay, if you would like to conclude something, bisa pakai in short, in a nutshell, all in all, overall, by and large, to sum up, to conclude. Kemudian kalau mau mengkontraskan ide ya, biasanya kita pakai but. Nah, tadi ada yang pakai however, okay, on the other hand, nevertheless, nonetheless. So yeah, that's the thing that we can do. I think, okay, ini general ya. Kalau kita mau, saya pikir bisa divariasikan dengan in my opinion, as I see it. Tapi ada perbedaan nih. Kalau kita mau ide yang mau kita sampaikan itu kita ragukan, nah kita bisa pakai I guess ya, atau I suppose, atau I would say that. Blah, blah, blah. Tapi kalau kita yakin dengan ide kita, nah, kita bisa pakai I believe. Atau teman-teman bisa pakai I'm convinced atau I'm sure. Well, I believe you guys know it, but again, when it comes to practice, sometimes we forget to say, more varied vocabularies or lexical resources. Well, that's all that I could deliver, everyone. Thank you so much for, talking about this issue. And Ms. Denik, thank you so much for sharing us. And as always, before we end our talk, it's time for us to, take some pictures. Okay. Could you guys please share your beautiful and handsome face? Okay. Okay, thank you, Miss Sophie. And Mr. Kibo, could you please, sorry, I forgot to.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Okay. Thank you. Well, Miss Dania, Miss Uchi, Mr. Pablo. Okay.
Oh yeah, guys. For your information,
yeah,
next week we will talk about sexual harassment. We will talk about Saipul Jamil too, perhaps. So it will be interesting next week.
Indra Jamil.
Eka Jamil. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, the last slide. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Manchan, for taking some pictures and others for joining in our discussion. Well, as always, before we end, we need to say our jargon. Okay, when I say OTA community, you need to say yesterday, we say tomorrow. All right, the last I say OTA community.
Yesterday
say
tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.